I wanna begin by sharing a story that I want to talk to you about. I was many years ago. I was preaching for my friend Bennyhinn. Now we all love Bennyhinn. She's one of my sweetest friends in the whole world. I went to Denver, Colorado. This was 84, 85. I walked down the aisle. I look at a lady. I said, "Lady, the Lord tells me you have cancer." And she says, "No, I don't." I said, "Yes, you do." She said, "No, I don't." I said, "Yes, you do." She said, "No." We got into an argument. Now Bennyhinn is sitting on the platform getting all upset with me. I said, "Lady, the Lord told me you have cancer." She said, "No, I don't." I said, "Yes, you do." She said, "No, I don't." I said, "Yes, you do." And I said, "Listen," I said, "if I am wrong on God talking to me about you, I'll quit the ministry." I was that bold. I said, "Don't you tell me you don't when the Lord tells me you do." I said, "I am not leaving till you admit you have it." That's what I said to her. Because when the Lord speaks to us, we know He spoke. And I said to the lady, I said, "Now lady," I said, "or God has not spoken to me, or you're lying." Well, you can imagine the tension in the auditorium by that time. Dear Bennyhinn was sitting on the platform getting very upset by the second. And later she and I talked about this. But anyways, the lady had just heard a preacher who preached on faith and who said to the congregation, "Don't confess it." And now the lady starts to weep out loud, and the whole church heard her say to me, "I am not supposed to say it. I am not supposed to say it." And then I got really angry. I said, "Lady, faith does not deny fact." I said, "Nobody ever came to Jesus and said, 'I'm not supposed to say it.'" I said, "The blind said, 'I'm blind.' When the Lord said, 'What will you that I do?' He said, 'I'm blind.' The man didn't say, 'I'm not supposed to say it.'" Well, what am I trying to tell you is very simple. So many people have been damaged by the flesh. They confess, "With His stripes I'm healed. With His stripes I'm healed." It's all flesh. You see, my brother, my sister,